Hello, beautiful people. Here I am once again with a nice live on dreams and astrology. And we're going to talk about the moon tonight, of course. And I want to talk about the cycle of the moon, the 28 days, the significance of the moon cycle, the phases, all of that. I'm also going to pull cards as per usual. And in this live, I'm going to start with a chat with my friends Katie and Devon, who have been doing their own moon ceremony, I believe, for the rising moon. So they will share that details on that. And I'm just really curious and interested and fascinated by people's own connections and rituals, specifically when it comes to the astrology and when it comes to the moon as well. So I'm really, really excited to chat with them about that and share with you guys. And of course, I would love to have a dream interpretation with someone who would like to share. All right, so I see Katie's here. It's like, and Devon. Okay. We'll see how this technology is working today. See, did I accept? Oh, awesome. Hi, you got it working?
Hi. Yeah, evidently it is.
Awesome. Hey, guys. What's up?
Hey.
So I'm excited to chat with you guys about the moon, and because I found so much value in my own practice working with like a 28-day ritual. This work sacred and really drawing that into just like doing something ritually, being mindful, and having like a really strong intention with that. So while I might not necessarily start with the new moon, I definitely have experienced the phases and yeah, just the waxing and waning of energy and the peak energy too within my own ritual. So I know you guys have been doing moon ceremonies, and I will let you share everything about that because I don't know much, but I'm really excited. And I think you said you started it at that new moon in Aries, like the second one we had in a row, when that kind of like flip happened with the new moons at the end of this solar cycle.
I think it was just at the Aries, the first day of
Yeah.
Aries ingress.
Okay. Aries season, like the sun in Aries, or
Yeah, the sun in Aries.
okay, cool. Okay. So, and are you still doing it right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's gonna be at 10:23 tonight, Devin?
Yeah, no, 10:33.
nice.
Okay.
So what's your so what's like the moon ceremony, or maybe like what's the intention for starting it? And it's like with the moon rise, right? Is how
Yeah.
you do.
What is I think the intention is just to honor the moon and try to understand her better as the teacher of astrology. I'm not Devin, you're totally allowed to speak. We thought about it for a while, but not very long. It just seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah, it kind of just happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely like the intention is definitely just like focusing on the moon, focusing on her changing light, focusing on her phases, and just learning, just trying to understand and reconnect with the moon's energy and its own intention as the sphere of all that is embodied on Earth, like, and trying to kind of connect with the celestial sphere. Like, to me, it's like uh you know starting with the moon and then like adding the spheres through the reverse Chaldean order of like moon and then Mercury and then Venus and then the sun and then Mars and then Jupiter and then Saturn, and like branching out that way, and like just starting with the teacher of astrology, the moon. You know, Mercury gets credit for inventing astrology. Mercury gets credit for writing down astrology, but like it's really the changing of the moon is the between night and day. The moon is the thing that grabs our attention, that changes the most.
Right.
That's like out of the
Yeah.
ordinary.
Yeah. So with your ceremonies, is it like just honoring like the new cycle of the moon, or because it happens like once a month?
No,
But
we do the ceremony daily.
oh,
We do a extra a, a bigger ritual for the lunations, for the dark and full moons.
nice.
But it's daily, and it's
Wow.
it's a bigger process than I think either Devon and I
Right.
uh, thought we were about to undertake. Like it involves waking up at 3 a.m. to light a candle and do, when you have to be to work at 6. Like it's 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 lovely, and the moon is a lot more. We all know her face changes through over the course of the month, but the cycle is from a solar calendar perspective. The cycle is a lot more erratic than you could possibly understand unless you do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
And that's beautiful, and I admire that you do it every day, and especially
Mhm.
then. Like that's kind of that's a long period of time.
Mhm.
yeah, and the ritual involves first of all, we use the Arabic manzils, the Arabic mansions, and we're partially using this as an exercise to connect with the fixed stars that rule the mansions. And so I decided that the stars were really important. Some astrologers just use the classic division of the mansions from 0 degrees Aries.
Mm.
Some people use a more Vedic approach where you start with the horns of Aries and then use an equal division of the sky from that point. And what I decided to do, because I felt that the stars were so important to the mansions, is that we actually use an uneven division of the sky, literally based on what the projected degrees are currently of each star. And so some mansions are 10 degrees wide,
Yeah.
some mansions are 3 degrees wide. Like it's pretty erratic in that way. And so our ceremony involves lighting a candle and saying hello to the moon. The words have a greeting to the moon and also a recognition of which manzel she's in and which star governs that manzel. And so we're acknowledging both of those things, and then we go on to recite uh, basically a version, an adapted version from Austin Coppock of the Picatrix's uh, invocation of the moon. He shares it in the fundamentals of astrology class. He does an invocation to each planet before he starts teaching about them, and so
Ooh,
we kind of took that and kind of molded it uh, to our needs for this prayer. And we light a candle, we say the prayer, and yeah, and that's the simplest version of
right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, which it's not like it takes a lot of time, but it's just so much like meaning, so much intention behind it that could really, that's just brings so much presence, especially making that direct connection and showing reverence for the moon as well, and just opening up the conversation or like that energy exchange between, both of you and the moon, which is amazing as like practicing astrologers, right? Because it's like you're opening up the space to learn directly from the source. And that's kind of what, just listening to you and connecting with what you're saying and just what you practice in that way, that's kind of what I pick up from you. And it's really beautiful. And that's been something I've been seeking to do as well this year, is getting outside and connecting with like actually going out, having a conversation, or just sitting in the said moon, or whether it's Venus. Venus was definitely an easy one for me this year. I'm really good with the evening, like when the planets are in the evening sky, but when they're like up early morning, it's just, oh my gosh, it's so hard to get. So, so what would you say, like, the value, or like what benefit have you gained from this, or just how it's kind of changed your perspective of maybe your own perspective on astrology, or anything like that, or just your daily life and daily practice too?
You go,
I'll let you
Katie.
go, Devin.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
For me, it's really like, so the first thing is, it's opened up my understanding of like time, because being locked into the solar calendar, the solar days, like the 24-hour clock, these prescriptions that were given on how to address time, um, in our culture, and the moon shatters it. The moon absolutely just shatters that construct. If you follow her time, and
Mm-hmm.
it's opened my eyes to the fact that each sphere governs its own type of time, and and the retrograde cycles, the moving backwards and forwards in the sky, like visibly making that motion in the sky, and like it's just really allowed me to get more physical with the astrology, kind of riffing off of something that I said, that you reflected back to me in this conversation, is like the moon is the original source text, right? Like, and the embodiment of that experience is the original source text, and that's kind of what it's opened up my eyes to. Is like, it's funny because like I'm actually in a job, even though I'm in the service industry still. I'm in a job that allows me to take 10-minute breaks, even though I'm supposed to be allowed 10-minute breaks. Not a lot of cooking jobs actually have room for that, or make space for that. And so having the ability to take a 10-minute break has been great for me, because I've been able to take those 10-minute breaks and use them for the moon ceremony while I'm at work. So I have a travel candle that I take with me to work,
Wow.
and light the candle, and I'm able to participate no
And a
matter
travel
what.
selenite.
And a travel selenite, yeah. And so like, yeah. So it's really been able to help like take off those restraints of what Western time means.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Like, I mean, I feel that isn't really present, or it's hard to grasp that and like have that in your day every single day, just in modern times. And that takes like a lot of devotion, and also like willpower too, to like be consistent with it.
The moon's really forgiving.
Yeah.
That's the other thing we've learned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't mind if you're a little late.
Yeah. I get that. No, and so that would be interesting too. I was thinking, if I was to do that, because I'm sure you still do it on days when she's dark, right? So even when she's not visible, you still honor like when she rises.
Mhm.
And
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
We do a much more intricate ritual for the full and dark moons.
yeah, nice. I love that.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, we prefer a black candle for the dark moon
Yeah,
stages. And we use a silver candle for the full moon stage.
So have you noticed anything like interesting in certain, parts of her phases, or just are there any like patterns or anything that you've noticed, or anything with the cycles in reference to just, yeah, anything?
I noticed that she changes speed.
Mm.
And I learned recently that you can use Dark Moon Lilith as a signature point in a natal chart to see what speed the moon is in
Mhm.
at. So that's been interesting. As far as like life interactions with specific phases, I think I've just come to appreciate the understanding of how much time she actually spends in the daylight, and
Yeah.
I think it's actually pretty powerful and not recognized. You don't see it as much like when you're looking at a natal chart on a piece of paper, or when you're looking at a natal chart on a computer screen. Like, she's the only sphere that can be seen and share the sky with the sun when the sun's out.
I love when I see it out in the middle of the this, and that speaks to like the moon, the upper hemisphere, like during the day, like in a day, basically. I never even thought about really, like, I pay attention to the phases of the moon when I'm doing readings for people, but even in that act, I never really thought about, oh, when you were born, like at this time, the moon was in the sky with the sun, like, say, if it's a day birth and it's that phase, that point in the phase. And so that really just, yeah, that can give you another layer of how to connect with the moon, and just like even the moon's representation in your own birth chart too. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah, especially if the moon is sharing a sign with other planets.
Right.
I think that adds like a layer of added light and understanding to whatever house or sign that's in.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. So, of course, I've been talking about dreams a lot lately. And we can continue, obviously, talking about the ceremonies. And I want to know your relationships with dreams, and maybe if even having this daily ceremony with the moon, if you've seen some sort of correlation, or if you, yeah, just influence uh, or change.
Sorry, we're having some technical issues.
Oh, no, you're good. All good.
Sorry, the neighbor kids just got home from work and then they were being loud.
Yeah. Right. It's like what, 5 there, which is, it's crazy. It's like 8 time here. We're going like
Yeah,
getting ready for like dinner, or have had dinner. Speaking of time, the time shifts.
time and space.
Yeah. Yes. So I was just, Katie, as far as your dreams, I'm curious about your relationships with dreams, and if like connecting with the moon daily, if that's had any kind of influence or impact on your dream cycle or anything of that nature.
Not not so much as I've noticed. My relationship to my dreams is a little complicated. And I think of the moon ceremony as a very waking earthly experience. It's not it's like, because it sometimes happens in the middle of the day, it's not something, and you don't always have time to meditate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've thought about it, obviously, but yeah, I too that I've noticed it has not um it has not changed my experience with my dreams. That being said, like I have I have a 12th house Mars. So my experience with my dreams is not extraordinarily but it's not my favorite place.
Right.
Um I have like I had when I was a child, like pre-verbal, like one of the first I remember this. I remember learning the word dragon. And I had night terrors before I was verbal, and my parents didn't know what to do about it. And then I learned the word dragon, and I was like, it's dragons. Dragons, that's the fucking word. And yeah, and it's better than that now, but that is a lot of my experience with the dream time.
What sign do you share like your chart or anything? Like what sign is
Oh,
your 12th
it's
house?
in
Okay.
Virgo.
My
Yeah.
daughter has Mars in the 12th house in Scorpio, so she has Scorpio ruling that. So
Mm-hmm.
always like kind of watching her. It's interesting because now since I've been paying attention to dreams, like she will wake up and every so often, like this week she told me she had, like she didn't say it was a dream, but she woke up, started talking about like a black unicorn and like, I don't even remember what else she said. And I was like, oh, was that a dream that you had? And she was like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Take note, but
Well,
you definitely, I'm curious about that too.
yeah. Speaking to the mother-daughter relationship, at that same super young age, my mother taught me a technique, and I don't know like on what level she was thinking about it, but she knew that that I experienced nightmares, and she told me, when you're having a nightmare, pretend that your head is like a TV dial and
Mm.
turn it to the other side to a channel that you'd rather watch. And which kind of dates me, but but it's a tool that I still use.
Yeah, that's really
And
interesting. That makes
I do have the ability to interact with my dreams quite a bit.
like lucid, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Like I talk to myself in dreams. Like I'll just be like, dude, this is a dream. You don't have to be dealing with these emotions right now. It's a fucking dream.
Yeah, like in
Get out of
the
there.
dream. Nice. That makes like when you said that, how your mom said turn your head to like the other dial to, change the channel essentially.
Mm.
That makes sense to me when it comes to what I've experienced and learned when you wake out of a dream. And like if you're trying to remember your dream, they say like lay in the position that you were laying in when when you woke up from that dream. But like as soon
Mm-hmm.
as you turn over or anything like that, then it's harder to get to that dream, which is really interesting. Like I mean, I practice it and it definitely works, but I never realized, realized just like, what does that even come from? Or where does that come from?
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely, that makes sense when you say it. And was she referring to after you wake up, or is it like, do you do that in the,
No, while you're sleeping. Like
oh,
you don't even have to wake up. Just move your head and change the channel.
wow. So that's like a practice of in lucid state, basically.
Yeah.
So you're much like an avid lucid dreamer, just like naturally is what it
Yeah.
sounds like. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
To the point that I didn't understand until really recently that that's what I did. Like
Yeah.
I told this technique to Devon just like probably a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, I don't know. I've been doing it since I was like 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've lucid dreamt. I do it pretty often, but it like you like right. Be able
I
to
missed hearing a lot of that because it's the time of night when the Cessna flies over our house.
No, I was just saying that it's not really easy to, for most people to journal. I have experience with it. I mean, not that much, but I've done it more than a handful of times
Mm.
intentionally for the most part. But I know it's definitely something that people want to do and try to do, but it's not easy to actually do that. I know, actually, speaking of time too. So Gemini Brett was speaking about dreams recently too, and he mentioned that if you are wanting to connect more with your dreams or even enter that lucid state in your dream, like looking at your watch every so often throughout the day, just looking at checking the time. Like when you're, I don't know, when you have that awareness or that impulse, like look at your, I mean, and it's like wearing a watch too, but looking at the time, and then
Mm.
you'll start getting into a habit of doing that. And when you're in the dream state, for some, that carries into the dream space. And I know from my own practice that that's one of my things where I know I'm lucid. If I like, and basically time is like, or maybe not obvious, but time is weird in dreams. And so whenever I ask for the time, I literally just hear crickets, like literal hearing of crickets, like nothing's happening. And my friend shared this technique, and I tried it because she was like, you can't read in dreams, you can't tell time. So if you think you're dreaming, just ask someone for a book or ask someone for the time. And so I started doing that, and yeah,
Oh,
for me it was just crickets. For other people, it's else, or like the
so
or something like that. So
I have a kind of crass but like similar story. Like I can literally, like when you have to pee, like most normal people just wake up and go pee in their sleep. I can literally dream that I'm peeing and not actually pee the bed and feel relief.
and then you're I feel like I did that one time, and I was like, but I still woke up and I like had to go. But and it was like, I need to go pee, and I just went back to sleep. And then I remember in the dream that happened, and I woke up like, oh shit, but I was fine, but I still
Right.
had to go. Once my conscious mind set in, I was like, oh, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. So that's interesting.
I'm glad I'm not alone. I was like, wait, no, everybody, if you have a dream that you peed, you just peed the bed. I
Right?
was like, no, I can do that.
Yep. I'm really holding and waiting until the morning, so my body's like, whatever.
Oh yeah, no, our only bathroom in the house is all the way
Right.
downstairs. Like, no, I'm holding it as long as I can.
So what about you, Devin? Have you noticed any change in your dreams, or and like what's your relationship with dreams in general?
Yeah, I don't I've been noticing 12th house transits, uh, but not necessarily specifically with the moon, but I had a uh, very strong. So my 12th house is Virgo. Katie and I are both Libra risings. Our ascendants are like nearly like conjunct,
Wow.
and same with our MCs. But the Mars transit through Virgo was very like dream heavy, and also just anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
Uh, Lots of nightmares. I probably missed more work in my life in this 12th house ingress of Mars
Hmm.
than I have in my entire life. Just waking up with such terrible, like having terrible dreams, having terrible nightmares, and also waking up with like crushing anxiety and things of that nature. Like it was rough. It was a rough transit. So that's what I've noticed about astrology the most in as far as dreamscapes go is who's the ruler of your 12th? What is that? How is that being affected in your chart? And what transits are transpiring through that area? I don't know if the moon transiting I didn't track if the moon transiting through the 12th house while Mars was in there was intensifications of those. I can take the time to like look back and see which days of work I missed
Right.
and uh, and kind of see if that had something to do with it. But yeah, definitely, if I was going to give anybody astrology advice about dreams, I would look to whoever your 12th house ruler is
Yeah.
and that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I have Mars in my 12th house right now, in Libra. So that's really interesting. I was just looking to see when Mars entered Libra. That was at the end of August. And I don't know. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel that my dreams, like, because I've been dreaming, but they haven't been, they feel like distant or just hard to really grasp. I don't know. It hasn't really been, my nightmares were like over the summer. I had that like really intense phase. And I think a lot of that had to do with like my intention of like going in there into the unconscious realm and like, I want to know the energy. So, yeah, distant. Like I haven't really been able to connect, like in a sense of like actually writing them down. Like I feel them, I remember most of them, but they just feel really distant. And so that's really interesting. And so now Mercury just moved into Libra, so I'm curious of like how that's going to kind of play out in my 12th house. I mean, actually that should be, I mean, I would hope that would be perfect. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think Mercury in the transiting through the 12th was actually getting a lot of like I was getting a lot of more clear messages while
Yeah.
Mercury was in my 12th.
Right. And then you had the whole Mercury retrograde there too. So there was like a lot like going on and a lot of like, yeah, just a lot. I mean, even with Mercury though in Virgo, so that should have been pretty helpful in a sense. At least maybe like post retrograde, I would say. Just getting clarity on a bunch of things.
Yeah, it was definitely organizing the consciousness is definitely what I would use to describe that
Oh,
transit.
well, that's like how I see, yeah, I've definitely been connecting with the 12th house since really digging into dreams at literally like unconscious, just all of the things, and definitely with dreams too. Yeah, everything that's kind of going on like beneath the surface in the blind spot. Like it's definitely, I feel that more with the 12th house because I don't have anything in my 12th house, any natal planets. And so it's been, I mean, it's been kind of easy to ignore for the most part. And I don't know what it is about this year, but I definitely, it's like, no, let's open this up. So we'll see.
Well, yeah, well, from just like knowing you and getting to know you, like you've definitely been like intentionally like really trying to connect like deeper to the source and like and the way you do that is through the 12th house. Like the
Mm,
12th house is imprisonment and things of that nature, but it's also meditation. It's also the things that you do in
right.
isolation to gain higher strength to your personal connection and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like you've been engaging more with that side of with that Libran side of
Yeah.
you. I don't know where your Venus is, but
And Pisces. So in the fifth house. Yeah. So
cool.
awesome. We lost Katie, but
Oh,
are you there? Okay, your screen's just off.
yeah. Yeah. I had turned my screen off because I was walking around the house.
Nice.
Uh,
So, anything else you two want to share or add um, before I, like step into the next part of this
yeah,
live?
yeah. Katie, uh, how familiar are you with Portia? How familiar are you with the magical Greek papyri or the Greek magical papyri?
Oh, not really at all.
I
Maybe
think
more than I think, but please share.
uh, I think it'd be cool to end this on the sharing the
And our part of it.
yeah, and our part of it as sharing the prayer to Selene from that text that we did. We use this
Yeah.
one for the full moon and the dark moon. Oh, and I guess yeah. I guess that yeah. Let's do that. Are you ready for that, Katie?
Uh, I have it in my hand. I'm looking for my reading glasses.
Hey, yeah, I would love.
It's pretty fucking amazing. Okay. Oh, that's starts with the end. Ah, no.
Yeah, so basically what we would do is we'd say, we greet you as you rise on this day, dear Luna, in the mansion of Aldebaran, hosted by the stellar, with the stellar host of Aldebaran. And we thank you and say,
Come to me, O beloved mistress, three-faced Selene, kindly hear my sacred chants. Night's ornament, young, bringing light to mortals, O child of morn who ride upon fierce bulls, O queen who drive your car on equal course with Helios, who with the triple forms of triple graces dance and revel with the stars. You are justice, and the Moira's threads, Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos. Three-headed, your Persephone, Megara, Alecto, many-formed, who arm your hands, with dreaded murky lamps, who shake your locks of fearful serpents on your brow, who sound the roar of bulls out from your mouths, whose womb is decked with the scales of creeping things, with poisonous rows of serpents down the back, bound down your backs with horrifying chains. Night crier, bull-faced, loving solitude, bull-headed. You have the eyes of bulls, the voice of dogs. You hide your forms in the shanks of lions. Your ankle is wolf-shaped. Fierce dogs are dear to you, wherefore they call you Hecate. Many named Mene, cleaving air just like dart shooter Artemis. Persephone, shooter of deer. Night, shining, triple-sounding, triple-headed, triple-voiced Selene. Triple-pointed, triple-faced, triple-necked, and goddess of the triple ways, who hold untiring, flaming fire in triple baskets, and who oft frequent the triple way and rule the triple decades. Unto me, whom calling you, be gracious, and with kindness give heed, who you protect the spacious world at night, before whom daimons quake in fear, and gods immortal tremble. Goddess who exalt men, you of many names, who bear fair offspring, bull-eyed, horned, mother of gods and men, and nature, mother of all things. For you frequent Olympus, and the broad and boundless chasms you traverse. Beginning and end are you, and you alone rule all. For all things are from you, and in you do all things, Eternal One, come to their end. As everlasting band around your temples, you wear Kronos' chains, unbreakable and unremovable, and you hold in your hands a golden scepter. Letters round your scepter Kronos wrote himself, and gave you to wear, that all things stay steadfast, subduer and subdued, mankind's subduer and force subduer, chaos too you rule. Hail, goddess, and attend your epithets. I burn for you this spice, O child of Zeus, dart shooter, heavenly one, goddess of harbors, who roam the mountains, goddess of crossroads, O nether and nocturnal, infernal goddess of dark, quiet, and frightful one. O you who have your meal amid the graves, night, darkness, broad chaos, necessity. Hard to escape you are, your Moira and Urania's torment, justice, and destroyer. And you keep Cerberus in chains. With scales of serpents are you dark, O you with hair of serpents, serpent-girded, who drink blood, who bring death and destruction, and who feast on hearts, flesh-eater, who devour those dead untimely, and you who make grief resound and spread madness, come to my sacrifices, and now for me do you fulfill this matter.
and then we would finish with, Please reveal your sphere to us within and without, that we may better understand the tides of generation and corruption over which you preside.
Wow. I feel the power in that. And what I really like too is I felt the three aspects within that, like the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And that three really just got me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh my goodness. That was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for allowing us.
Yes, amazing. Well, I'm gonna keep that in mind too. I feel like I need to sit with the moon. Tomorrow I'll be able to see, I think. Yeah. She's pretty much getting close to the sun now at this point. No, yeah, she's about to enter her last quarter. So yeah.
Mhm.
Have to see her soon. That was amazing.
Well, yeah, thanks for having us on, and I just wanna plug Katie's soap company, soap and salve company, Snake Oil Creations. She's got a bunch of lunar soaps and stuff like that
Yeah,
on there. So
absolutely. Awesome.
All
Yes,
right.
definitely Katy and Devon a follow. Snake Oils Creations, right? Am I saying, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Snake Oil Creations. I'm not nearly as active on Instagram as Devin is.
Yeah,
But.
and Esoteric Butcher. So yeah, they got some amazing things going on. I appreciate it. All of that. Guys. All right. So we are going to talk about a little bit more about dreams. And if there's anyone that wants to share a dream, anyone that's here right now, if you want to share a dream and we can interpret it together, that would be awesome. I think I'm going to pull some cards too. Oh, Kettle Buddha. What's up, Lewis? Hello. Yeah, that was amazing. That was really beautiful. I really just, with the triple moon, I really connect with that aspect of the maiden, mother, and the crone, especially personally shifting from mother to mate, or maiden to mother. And then just the aspect of the three has been amazing. Oh, let's see. Oh, we still got Katy up here. Katy, are you there? I think you're still
I am.
on. Oh, you just have to hit the X
Okay.
on your screen. I don't know if you see that to X out. Yeah.